Hello students. In the last video, we had discussed about the structure of human eye. I hope you have seen that and understood that. Uh, there we discussed about the various layers or coats of eyeball. So we discussed outer coat, middle coat, and innermost coat, which was retina. So we discussed about that. Uh, that retina is photosensitive coat of the eye, and it is the innermost coat. And today we'll discuss about retina a little more. So this is retina, which is shown by this orange color. This I had shown you earlier also. So we'll talk about structure of retina. The retina contains two types of receptor cells, rods and cones. We had talked about these names earlier also. So retina has two types of receptor cells, rods and cones. They are both photosensitive cells, and it is because of these two types of cells present in the retina that retina becomes very sensitive and photosensitive. There are three layers of neurons in the retina. I hope you all know what are neurons. Neurons are the special cells which constitute our nervous system, and they are present in our sensory organs also. It constitutes the nervous system of our body, which is like जैसे electrical wires के connections होते हैं, they make nerves by joining each other. So neurons, you can refer to the structure of neurons in your previous class books or on the net. You can search for neurons. So three layers of neurons, which are special cells meant for this nerve formation or for the formation of various circuits in the nervous system of the body. Brain is constituted by neurons. Spinal cord has lots of neurons, like that. So three layers of neurons are there in retina. These layers are first receptive neurons, which are again rods and cones. They are also types of neurons which are photoreceptive. They respond to light. As they are photoreceptive, they receive the stimulus or stimulation from light energy or light waves. Then neural impulses are created by them. These rods and cones, they are photosensitive and they generate neural impulses. It's like something like electrical current which is created by them. Then second layer is constituted by bipolar neurons. These are also types of neurons which are bipolar, means they have two ends. They conduct neural impulses to ganglion cells. The function of these bipolar neurons is to collect this neural impulse from rods and cones, and then to they convey it to ganglion cells. Ganglion cells is the third layer of retina. They do the final processing of the signals within the eye. Whatever is needed to convert that neural impulse into something which can be detected by brain, that processing is done by these ganglion cells. Their axons form the optic nerve. Now, when you will refer to the structure of neurons, you'll see that it has a body and a tail-like structure which is known as axon. So the axons of these ganglion cells, which are again neurons, they form the optic nerve. So the axons form the optic nerve. जो भी इनसे एक्सन्स या टेल्स जैसी निकलती हैं उससे ऑप्टिक नर्व फॉर्मेशन होता है. देन ऑप्टिक नर्व कंडक्ट्स sensory inputs to the brain. This optic nerve, it conducts the sensory input to the brain. It takes it to the brain, where there are specialized areas on the occipital lobe which can detect the sensation of vision. So this is how there are different layers of neurons in the retina. Then we'll talk more about these rods and cones which form the receptive neuron layer of the retina. So what are rods? These assist in night vision, that is when the light is very dim. The rods or the neurons which are called rods, they are useful, or they work when light is very dim, so that we can see things around us even in dim light. So they are very useful for night vision or when light is very dim. Their sensitivity increases with the decrease in the intensity of light. They become more sensitive or activated or excited with the decrease in the intensity of the light. When the light intensity becomes less, they are activated or excited. That is how they make us see things even in very dim light. They convey information regarding brightness but not about color. So they are capable of telling us about the brightness of light, that is whether it is dim light or bright light, but they don't tell us about the color of the things around us. Then the second type of cells, which are cones, they are specialized for vision in bright light. Rods were specialized for vision in dim light, but cones are specialized for vision in bright light. When the light is bright, when it is well lit out around us, then they are the cells which are excited or activated. They inform about colors. They are the cells which are responsible for our color vision. That is, through them we can see the color of the things around us. These are concentrated in fovea, which is the center of retina opposite to pupil. These cells, that is the cone cells, they are concentrated in fovea. They are present in large number in fovea. There is a point called fovea on retina, which is aligned opposite to pupil and situated, of course, on retina. In fovea, these cells are approximately 50,000 in number, and so this point fovea becomes very, very light sensitive, very, very photosensitive or light sensitive. There are approximately 130 million rods and cones in the eye. So such a large number of these cells are present in the eye, which makes it possible for us to see things in dim light as well as in bright light. They tell about colors. So these are very important photosensitive cells of the eyes. Then retina is divided into three zones. First, the central zone. Central zone is capable of differentiating between all colors. More cones are there in this zone. So the central zone is responsible for differentiating between all colors. It tells us about the difference between different colors. There are more cones in this zone. Then middle zone, it mainly responds to yellow and blue color. This middle zone of retina is responsible for our color of yellow, our vision for yellow and blue color. Then extreme zone, it responds to colorless stimuli. So three zones of retina are there: central zone, middle zone and extreme zone. So this was all about the structure of retina, which is the very important layer of the eye. Rather, it is the photosensitive layer of the eye, and it is through the activity of this layer, or through the structure of this layer, that we are able to see something around us. And then from here, this optic nerve emanates and it goes to the brain, to the occipital lobe of the brain, where the sensation of vision takes place. Now, how the eye functions. This was all about the structure of eye. Now, the function of the eye. Light stimulation from the environment outside our body, it strikes the eye at the point of cornea. It strikes at the cornea, which is a transparent part of the eye. It allows the light to pass through pupil, which is a hole in the eye, as I've already discussed. It's a hole-like structure. Pupil, the light strikes cornea and then it enters through pupil of the eye, and through the pupil with the help of ciliary muscles. This pupil is adjusted through these ciliary muscles. That is this iris. It is adjusted through iris, as I have already told you about it, that it sometimes becomes less in size, sometimes it is more in size. Like sometimes it becomes bigger, sometimes it becomes smaller. When there is bright light, it becomes smaller through the activity of this iris, and sometimes when the light is less, then the pupil becomes bigger. Through this pupil, the light enters and it falls on the lens, which is a biconvex lens, and these suspensory ligaments are there, which suspend it in this whole cavity, and this is controlled by ciliary muscles. Through the activity of these ciliary muscles, the curvature of the lens is adjusted according to whether we are looking at an object which is near to us or far from us. When the object is near to us, these ciliary muscles, they become little relaxed and the lens thickens, so as it can focus well on the near object. And when we focus something at a distance, then the ciliary muscles, they pull the lens up and it becomes thinner, and then we can see the things which is far from us. So this is how the curvature of the lens is automatically adjusted by the activity of ciliary muscles, depending upon whether we are seeing something closer to us or far from us. Then through the lens, what is the function of the lens? Lens focuses the light which has entered through pupil on the retina. Ultimately, retina is the photosensitive part of eye, so the light has to be focused on retina. The light passes through this vitreous humor and it focuses itself on the retina, and most clear vision occurs when it is focused here on fovea, because as I've already spoken about this point fovea, that it has maximum number of photosensitive cells, cone cells here, approximately 50,000 cells. So the vision is very much clear when it is focused here. Then there is a spot here in retina which is known as blind spot. This is known as blind spot because there are no rods and cones here. And why there are no rods and cones? Because here the optic nerve axons, or the ganglion cell neurons, their axons are forming the optic nerve here. It's like formation of wires, after many thin wires come together in a group, and this optic nerve is constituted, which takes the stimulus from here to the um, brain, where it is then uh, interpreted as sensation, or detected as visual sensation. There are rods and cones all over the retina, as we have already discussed the structure of retina, but this point is most photosensitive and this is least photosensitive because there are no rods and cones here. And this is how optic nerve is formed by the ganglion cells, and this is how the sense of vision takes place uh, in the brain. So I hope you have understood the structure and function of eye, and we'll finish this video here only. And one more thing I would like to tell you, that because of sometimes the examination duties for the PG exams which are going in the college, I may not be able to put videos on some days. So you can revise your things, or you can find resources regarding these topics on the net, or you can prepare notes at your own. So I hope you'll understand that. And sometimes, because as you all know that I have all the classes to deal with, sometimes I'm overburdened because of all that. So there may not be a video every day. I'll try my best though, but in such case, I hope you'll understand, and then you will do the needful. Thank you very much, students.